Hey everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be searching through 10 super worn Liberty Head or V nickels. They were made from 1883 to 1913 or 1912, but they made like 5 in 1913 that are worth millions. We are going to be revealing the dates. They've been worn down so badly that you can't see them. I'll show you in just a moment. We'll be putting some nic-a-date, which is traditionally used on Buffalo nickels. Those had their dates wear down a lot easier, but there's still some really good dates that we want to be looking for here, so maybe we can find something super rare. Let's head on over to my nic-a-date station and we'll start seeing what dates we've got in front of us. So here are the targets, and they sort of vary in terms of how worn down they are. Some of them have other damage, but I think we'll start with like 2 of them just to sort of confirm that it's working. And if it's releasing, I'm sure that it will have worked, the video. But we'll start with that one, as well as this one seems really worn. There's no trace of a date. We'll see if we're even able to. It's worked in the past when I've tried it on just 1 or 2, but I'm curious to try a whole batch. So let me break out the nic-a-date and I'll show you what happens. And one thing as I apply this ferric chloride is just to sort of remember that I would not recommend doing this if you really want value out of the coins. It should only be done to coins that are, pretty far gone, you could say, just because there's going to be, if the date is even revealed, there's going to be some pretty significant discoloration where the acid has worn away, but we're really targeting here 1885 and 1886, or of course 1912S. I haven't really looked for that, but if we reveal any 1912s, we'll certainly make sure that there's not an S on the back. And now it's just a little bit of a waiting game. I'm not going to make you do that, and then we'll see what's underneath. So a little bit of time has passed, and I'm going to wipe off the acid. I'm trying not to get it on the underlying towel, which it doesn't look like I did here, and we'll see if we can make anything out, because on that one I think you can sort of see some dates. I'm less sure on this one. It has not worked as well, so that's something important to note, but I'm pretty sure I can see 1880, and the last digit is a bit unclear, but now I think it looks like 1889 is going to be the date over there. And let's see, 1889. So I don't think that that's a better date, but it is a better date in the sense of it's not like in 1900s. It's not super common to see a bunch from the 1880s. So that's certainly an interesting coin. Maybe as a sort of side experiment, because I have a lot of the acid, I'm going to do a few more, like this one. That could be 1880 something, but I'll also sort of do the full back and then maybe do the full front just to see how much detail we can unveil. But I'm also going to give this another little dip in the solution because I don't want to miss out on a potential key date. And we've got that one that's going to be the 1889. We're going to sort of show off all the detail in just a moment. Curious to see how that turned out. This one's still in the liquid. This one has a 5 on the end, and I'm excited. It could be, I think it's 1895, but it might be 1885. And then this one up top, which I'll start with, appears to me, it looks like it's saying 1899, which is not quite as desirable a date, but still, glad that we were able to reveal it. It's always interesting. So I just sort of took back the, and it clearly leaves a pretty undesirable looking spot. But, 1899, that's definitely clear, and it was not at all before. So great to be able to unveil that for you. Shame that it's not a major date that's super desirable or something like that. Let's see on this one, though, because I can definitely see the 5 on the end, and I'm not sure if we've got a key date. And that looks to me 1895, so it's not going to be the better one, but still, I'm glad that we took a shot on it because, these dates have been the earlier ones. We haven't been revealing a bunch of 1904s or 1907s. 1895 right there. I think it's time to check on that last one. Again, I'm not seeing anything at the moment. Like sometimes you can definitely see clearly through, and maybe it is a good candidate to be dipped again in the acid. But often, sometimes like rotating this sort of stuff under the light, you can get a little bit better clarity. And it looks like, you can see 1.8. I think that says 91. which again is not a really, really common date or anything like that. Let me know what you guys think, because I see 91. I'm going to still continue to put this under the acid, but that's not a bad outcome at all. And maybe we'll be able to get a bunch of different dates. Then I do want to test this one out over here, and I'm probably going to need, multiple, towels. I want to be, make sure I don't get this stuff too much on my hands. Of course, I'm washing my hands afterwards. Definitely, you want to be careful with the chemicals that you play around with. Let's just look, though, a little bit closely at what a full dip would do. And, I think it needs to be applied more on either side. But you can see, the sharpness of the top, nice detail in the hair. So we've really sort of restored that in a cool way. And I think, of course, the next step is to do the same on the back. And then our last little experiment here is going to be on this one, which we're still working on. I've got faith that it's a key date. Wouldn't be so hard to reveal if it wasn't something good, is I guess how I'll look at it. That actually looks like 1891 as well, and maybe there's something where it, it's like tougher, like that date didn't have a really strong prominence and wore off a little bit easier, because the two that have been super tough, I think both of these sort of resemble 1891. Only one thing to do, put them more, under the acid a little bit more, but here, 1895 and 1899, those are some neat finds. I think our next step, we've got 5 more. I kind of just want to do them all at once, and then we'll also have these ones going, hoping still for that 85 or 86. And I was interrupted for a bit longer than I really should have allowed myself to be interrupted, but it'll be an interesting case study in terms of how much has been removed. So we'll just start over here and see, you can really tell that, and it's coming off reasonably nicely actually, but there's probably a little bit more exposure, or like how much was eaten away than would have been preferable. This one has clearly been damaged by like a rolling machine. Might have been recent, might have been, back when it was created, but that looks to me like maybe 1889. That's what I want to say. No, maybe 1899, but I think that looks like 1889 or 1888. I'll have to look at that a little bit closer off screen. This next one seems, I would not be surprised if it's a little newer, just because the rim is a lot stronger, but that might not really have anything to do with it. Looks like you can see something, and that looks like maybe it's 1901 or something like that. We'll have to look closer at that as well, but no key dates yet. Still an interesting experiment. I'm really curious about this with all the gunk on it, if there's going to be, and that came off really nicely. That one is a very clear 1890. Cool. So that I view that as a very successful example of what this could do, and I guess, it's going to make it a details coin, but if I apply it to the whole coin, it would be nice to have this sort of surface layer off. But 1890, cool. I mean, I don't think that there's much value in the ones, maybe they're worth, $1 instead of $5 or something like that. I just don't think that there's a huge amount of collectability. But on the other hand, I'd rather get one of these nickels and change than a modern Jefferson. This one, 1893, very clear as well. So this worked nicely. And also really shows, you can even see some of the denticles. So, maybe I should look for a repunch date on that 1890. This one, let's see how this turned out on the far left here. Ooh, so that one's also clear, I can already see. This one is going to be the least valuable of anything we've got so far. 1906. So, at least, again, it came through quite nicely, quite clearly. And the ferric chloride certainly getting its job done. I'm curious over here about how it will have performed on just the large entirety of the reverse here. Looks like some detail is being exposed, which is great. So you can see a little bit of the lettering already from the video. let's get all of that off, and that I can do a more thorough job here because I did leave it on for a while. But yeah, you can see all the lettering, United States of America, V, the wreath. So really neat, interesting. 1889. Yeah, you can see just the contrast right there of what it would look like than what the acid does. And then lastly, I think these are our two 1891s, I believe, that we may have a little clearer photo of, or I shouldn't say photo, I was thinking picture, and then I was trying to vary the words that I was using. But let's see, this one looks pretty clearly, and there's a little bit of acid that I need to remove. Yeah, I think those are both 1891s. So really neat. I'll do a final recap, and yeah, I'll be right back. Seems like we had good results, not great, but really fun to be a part of this experiment. And after some off-screen dipping of the coins that had not been revealed, looks like we got an 1888, 1889, 1890, 291s, 93, 95, 99, 1901, and 1906. So pretty solid results, most of them in the 90s, but a few earlier. I would be on the lookout for these V-nickels because it's probably better than like Cull modern, 1900 and up, except of course for the 1912S. Really fun to have been able to hunt it through. A little bit of a bummer that we didn't get any of the 85, 86, so I didn't really expect that to appear, but a fun search nonetheless. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasureTownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasureTownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there, and hope you have a good day.